everybody, welcome back to Puppets and Predictions. I'm Ryan.
I'm Matt.
And we'll be talking about the box office every single week. Your favorite films, flicks, movies, hearsay.
That's right.
Let's get into it. This past weekend, we had a big weekend with the Presidential Day 4-day weekend. We had Lego Batman winning this weekend with $33 million in the 3-day and $43 million in the 4-day. It was a good weekend for Lego Batman.
That's right. And as for Great Wall, 50 Shades, and John Wick 2, they all ended up pretty close in the 16 to 20 million range for the 3-day.
Solid numbers from them. Good to see. We did, however, have some underperformances. We had Fist Fight, which only made $12.2 million in its 3-day weekend take. A bit of a disappointment with the Charlie Day Ice Cube comedy.
Yeah.
And we also had Cure for Wellness.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Anyway, as for this week's predictions, Ryan, what do you think we have as our number 10?
Well, seeing that I wrote these note cards, I'm going to say Split.
That's right. Split is in week 6, and we think it's projected, we're going to think it's going to make about $4.4 million this week.
They're having solid numbers. What are we thinking about the decrease?
They're going to decrease about 38%.
38%. Not bad for Split. It hasn't gone under 40% in any of its weeks, and this is week 6. That's pretty impressive for this M. Night Shyamalan film. Coming up next, we have a film called Collide with Felicity Jones coming out. Hey, Matt, you ever hear about this movie?
No.
Sounds about right. We think it's going to make $5.2 million. No need to talk about it anymore.
After that, we got Rock Dog!
Pixar's drunk cousin back at it again, hitting the gin too much, isn't that right?
That's right. You know, I saw I think it's the same company that made Norm of the North, and boy, oh boy, that is not a good movie. We're actually going to compare it to Norm of the North and Mars Needs Moms, which is that movie. I think Seth Green was in that, and it
Seth Green,
did not do well at all. We think that Rock Dog is going to have an opening weekend of $5.8 million.
5.8 sounds pretty good. Both of those made around $7 million. Well, Norm of the North was made by Pixar's drunk cousin. Mars Needs Moms was made by drunk Pixar. Coming up next, we have Hidden Figures in week 10. This film is doing very, very well. We're only seeing a 15% decrease. It had under a 10% decrease last week, which is crazy. We're thinking it's going to make around $6.1 million. A pretty good box office for Hidden Figures again. I mean, what the heck? It's still in the top 10 in week 10.
Week 10.
Insane.
Incredible.
What do we got up next, Matt?
Next up, we got Fist Fight. I'm gonna beat you up. I only have one hand that moves. Anyway, Fist Fight. We're comparing it to Dirty Grandpa and Hall Pass and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot once again. We think those all had a drop of around 35 to 37%. We're going to give this with a 36% drop and make $7.8 million this week.
Boom. Can't believe another drop for Fist Fight. That film is not going to do too well.
I don't know.
Next up, we have Donald Trump's favorite film of the week, The Great Wall.
Ugh.
We're going to compare that to a few other winter releases. We have Jupiter Ascending, which came out February 2015. That had a second week drop of 50%. RoboCop, the shitty remake in 2014. Is it shitty? Did you see it?
I did not.
Okay. I'm not going to judge it too quickly. We got RoboCop 2014, which was released in 2013. RoboCop, which came out a few years ago, the remake that had a 55% second week drop. And we also have Gods of Egypt. We compared that last week. That had a second week drop of 63%. So we're projecting Great Wall for the second week drop of 49%. A pretty steep drop like most action films. Most people see it the first weekend, not the second as much. So we're saying 49% with a weekend take of $9.4 million.
Coming after that, we got 50 Shades Darker, which we are comparing to, obviously, 50 Shades of Grey from 2 years ago, and Me Before You, which was last year. Both of those had drops around 53, 57%, so we're going to put 50 Shades Darker at a drop of 50%, making $10.1 million in weekend 3.
Sounds about right, Matt. Sounds right to me. Next up, we have John Wick 2, another sequel. A bit surprising we're putting this ahead of 50 Shades Darker, comparing that to Kingsman in February 2015. 35%, third week drop. And Non-Stop, the Liam Neeson movie where he just can't stop.
Liam Neeson can't stop.
He can't stop, guys. But you know what can stop the box office? Because that had a 33% third week drop. So what we're projecting for John Wick for its third weekend is a 35% drop and a take around 10.5 million. We think this is going to hold up a bit better than 50 Shades Darker. What do we got at number 2, Matt?
Number 2, our good buddy Lego Batman. Lego Batman we're going to compare with the movie Paddington.
Paddington, that's the bear, right?
Yeah, the bear.
Oh, I totally saw him in the trailer. He's the one who tries to kill himself by 1, drowning himself, and 2, hanging himself.
That's right, he does both of those things in the trailer. Anyway, Paddington had a drop of 33% in its third weekend, so we think the Lego Batman movie is going to do pretty similarly, and it's going to drop 34%, making $21.6 million in weekend 3.
Sounds good. Lego Batman still strong numbers from them. Alright guys, that brings us to our number 1 film this week. It's going to be a newcomer, and it's going to be our bold prediction of the week.
Bold prediction.
This movie's going to be Get Out. Get Out, the Jordan Peele movie.
Yes.
We're going to predict it's going to make around $24 million in its opening weekend. Honestly, it looks like a good movie.
Oh gosh, it looks so unsettling. I'm really scared to go see it.
The thing is, these low-budget horror films are becoming the new found footage films we saw maybe 3-4 years ago. The Paranormal Activities, The Chronicle. We're actually going to compare it to Chronicle itself. Chronicle, which was released in 2013, that made $22 million in its opening weekend. We're also going to compare it to 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh.
I thought it had a bigger opening. It only made $25 million in its opening weekend.
That was my birthday.
When?
It came out on my birthday.
July?
March 11th.
Came out on March 11th. That's your birthday?
Yeah.
Shit, man, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you.
10 Cloverfield Lane, which made around $25 million opening weekend, and also the Guillermo del Toro movie, Mama, if you remember that.
Yes.
Scary movie with a little girl. That made... It did not make $55 million.
Oh! It's supposed to be 5.5?
No, it's supposed to be... Mama made $28 million on its
Why does
opening
it say
weekend.
58?
It says 55. It doesn't say
55, but you know what I meant.
I don't know why it says 55 on my notes, but it made $28 million. So we have the 22 with Chronicle, the 25 with Cloverfield, and the 28 with Mama. So what we're saying in our
bold prediction:
$24 million for Get Out this weekend. And that's our weekend, folks. It's going to be a good weekend. Now let's sum up this segment by giving our final word.
The final word.
My word this week is appealing.
Oh, God.
What, you got something better? What's your word?
Yeah, my word's gonna be Oscar.
For the Oscars this week.
That's right. You know what else?
What?
My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar.
My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer.
Oh, I love to eat it every day.
And if you ask me what it is, I'll say Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA.
Yay!
Thanks for tuning in, folks. See you next week.
Bye.